Hello, hello, hello. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the Game Week 28 team selection stream after what was a chaos Game Week 27 or nightmare of a Game Week 27, one to forget, I would say. And the FA Cup, decided to put more chaos into the factors that we need to consider. And yeah, more chaos in the FA Cup with some benching headaches. I'm looking at you, Matthias Cunha. Some injuries to discuss, some red card suspensions, and obviously an FA Cup draw that has been a very interesting one as well. So we'll talk about all of that as well. Shout out to Tiger, to Nick, to Varun. How are you all doing? And also to those of you who are on the chat and listening as well in the background. Shout out to everyone. Make sure to smash that like button if you are here, just for the YouTube algorithms, to help the YouTube algorithms. And also, if you're new, smash the subscribe button as well. Now, having said all of that, let's talk. Obviously, Gaming 28 was a very tiny red arrow. I went like from 1.12 to 1.14 million. So about 20k places dropped. Very tiny red arrow. Unfortunately, if I had Mikolenko as like my second sub compared to my third sub and Luis Hall as the third sub, then I would have had a green. Or even if I think I captained Salah instead of Palmer, I would have had a green. So yeah, it's just one of those. I was like very short away from a green arrow, but it is what it is. We just have to move on. So Game Week 28, we are in massive problems. As you can see, I was just playing around. My team would look like this for 28. What in the world? I was looking to roll this week. I was looking to roll, people, and I'm sure that a lot of you were probably looking to roll as well. Kom, welcome. Tendai, welcome as well. Why do I have this? I was listening to audio. I was looking to roll this week, and here we are, obviously. Now wondering whether I should do a transfer or do I still roll? What do I even do? I have no idea. Kinda like I'm like, okay, Cunha, I need to find a replacement now. I have to take a hit for Game Week 29. On top of that, Endai is still obviously injured. Lewis Hall could be an issue for the moment, but this is not too fast about it because I was anyway going to hold him on the bench. But we kind of have to wait and see in terms of the situation with regards to that as well. So, FA Cup. This is how the quarterfinal draw ended up with. Obviously, Forest and Ipswich are yet to play. They played today. So based on that information, we'll get to know who ends up in the quarterfinals. I'm thinking Forest obviously as the favorites in that tie, but we have to kind of wait and see. So Fulham versus Palace, Preston versus Aston Villa. You got to favor Aston Villa for that. Bournemouth versus City, Brighton versus potentially Forest or Ipswich. We had to wait and see. Tendai says I captain Palmer and feel like I dodged a rocket ship bullet. I captain Palmer and I felt very unlucky. Given the amount of big chances, I think he should have come away with at least one goal from that game. I felt very unlucky that he didn't come away with at least a goal. Nick says I'm basically forced. I think Cunha out and I have sinking feeling Isak will be rested. Now that's another thing because obviously they have. Would they rest Isak Tuesday, right? Yeah, they have a cup final game, but then they don't have European fixtures between now, like from now till next week. They don't have any European fixtures, so they might give Isak still some minutes for at least to have match rhythm. I don't think he's not gonna play at all for like what 2 weeks. Surely not. I think he will play. When is the cup final? League Cup final. 17th of March. So yeah, that's on the Sunday. Yes. So I think he'll play this one. I think he should be fine. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, I'm gonna have to start him and hope for the best. Yeah. So that's nothing really we can do. In terms of captaincy, obviously he's going to switch. We do have European fixtures this midweek, so there's still more chaos to come, people, before Game Week 28 can even start. There's still more chaos to come. So we had to wait and see how the European fixtures as well go, which means do not make any transfers. Still wait till all the football is done for the midweek, and then we can make transfers based on whoever is fit and hasn't been suspended or injured and whatnot. So hold on to all your transfers for the moment, even if Cunha looks like he's gonna fall in price. Is how much right now? 7 million. Yeah, even if he falls in price, I don't think I'll lose sell value. I think let me have a look and see. I think I will just check anyway. Be certain about it. Better be. So fantasy football fix my squad. Cunha. Oh, okay. If he does fall in price, I will lose value. Never mind. I take that back. I will lose value if he falls in price. But it doesn't look like he's falling in price anytime soon. So at least I think I might be able to wait till European fixtures are done at least. So yeah, Cunha, bit of an issue. It is what it is. We kind of had to wait and see. Varun says, I have Isak, Visa, and Wood. I'm going to roll. See, now that is the situation you would like to be in. Ask anyone who has Cunha, Mateta. Anyone with Cunha and Mateta? Let me know. Joseph says, good morning, Ryan. Oh, God morning. Good morning, Joseph. And his chat boxes. Yes, good morning, everyone. And Tiger, welcome as well. Even so, I'm forced to transfer out Hall and Cunha anyways. Why forced to transfer Hall? Do you really need to transfer Hall? Or can you bench it? So we need to look at forwards now. Now, apart from that, this is game week 34 possibilities in terms of blanks and doubles for all of you obviously looking at who still have the free hit chip and you're wondering how 34 would look like in terms of free hit. Right now, Man City versus Aston Villa is very likely to blank because obviously you guys saw the massive. This is what happens when I zoom one picture, it zooms the other picture. Obviously, because Aston Villa got Preston, you expect Aston Villa to win that game, which means obviously they will blank this one. Brighton versus West Ham. Obviously, it depends if Brighton can beat either Forest or Ipswich, and the same thing I would apply if Forest versus Brentford. That could be a blank if obviously Forest, if let's say they beat Ipswich, and then they beat Brighton in game week 29, like the FA Cup round. So that could mean that Forest potentially could double in 33. So any of these blanks could potentially move to either 33 or 36. So that is something obviously we kind of have to wait and see. Bournemouth, if they can beat City, probably unlikely. So you're expecting a game to go ahead between Bournemouth and Man United, unless there is a possibility Man United could, I think, blank if they beat Real Sociedad in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. There is a possibility because of that could be a blank. But at this moment, given Man United's form, it's probably very unlikely that Man United beat Real Sociedad, to be honest. But we kind of have to wait and see. And then Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Crystal Palace, beat Fulham. Arsenal, Crystal Palace could be a double. You could potentially see double for Palace. But the chances of now seeing double for Newcastle has become very low because Newcastle obviously are out of the FA Cup. So Palace assets could become more appealing than Newcastle assets post game week 29. And what else did that say? Varun says, I'm still thinking about going with Palmer, captain. Again, if Liverpool versus PSG first leg is a draw or Liverpool loses, Salah may be rested. That's a good point. We'll have to wait and see. That's why we kind of have to wait and see what happens. I'm still probably going to put it on Salah. But you make a really good point. So we'll have to wait and see how that game goes. Nick says, my defender options are Munoz versus Ipswich, Robinson versus Brighton, Timber versus United, Ina versus City, and Hall versus West Ham. So you'll start Munoz. You probably start Timber. Ina or Robinson. Yeah, fair enough. I see why you want to drop Hall as well, because if you're not free hitting in 29, one of your defenders you might get rid, right? You won't be benching both Munoz and Hall on that bench. Munoz and Robinson are start. Timber's done nothing lately, and Aina will almost definitely concede versus City. Yeah, fair enough. Timber's done nothing, but then Timber is playing a United team that struggling. Apart from Bruno Fernandes scoring goals, is actually struggling. um, that's kind of what I would. Anyways, fair enough. We'll have to wait and see. First of all, in regards to whether Lewis Hall was it just a precaution that he was taken off, obviously because of the knock he suffered against Liverpool in the last game. So wait and see with Lewis Hall before making any decision. But yeah, Munoz and Robinson, you probably start. I probably start Timber to be honest for this week. You don't really need to move it out this week itself. Probably not. I don't know. You could wait one more week and then like you could do Lewis Hall. If you're anyway going to move Hall, you could look at Ant Nouri from Wolves. That's an option. Nouri from Wolves is definitely an option because they've got. Why is there like a shadow? Let me reduce this. They got Everton this week, then they got Southampton in 29. Now I've set the Planet FPL projected fixtures as well to see the blanks, what they could be, what the doubles could be. So 33 is how we're probably looking at a double. Villa Dublin potentially, Brighton potentially Dublin, Fulham potentially Dublin. Now this is Fulham Dublin. I need to reduce this size. If they can beat Crystal Palace, that's when Fulham would double. So I think Fulham and Palace. Palace is not yet double, so they are expecting Fulham to beat Palace, which is why Palace is not added here. Is that because it's Fulham at home? Yes, that's probably why, because it's Fulham at home. City Dublin. City could be a very tempting game week 36 triple captaincy on a Haaland for anyone who's like uncertain on whether you want to put it on Newcastle, or you would be interested to maybe keep it and hold it and assume that City get past the semi-final stage. Like if City can make it all the way to the finals, then Haaland in 36 could become a very tempting option for a triple captaincy as well. Again, and then other teams that are Dublin, Southampton, we don't really care, and then obviously West Ham for any Jared Bowen owners. One of Hall or Munoz do have to leave my team anyways because I'll keep Isak and Salah on my bench, so it leaves one bench spot left. Yes, that's one. So then in that case, Hall could probably be the one who moves, depending on your team value and whatnot as well. I think you probably need to consider that. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'll be back. Quickly be back. Okay. No sound. Sorry. Chili 1, Ryan 0. Yes. Okay. So, what happened was I was cooking, and I was cutting chili, and I washed my hands before the stream, and then washed my face, and it seems like the chili, the effects were still on my hands. And when I washed my face, my eyes were killing me because it's smarting. So now I had to go back again, wash my face, and then come back. But still, still not that great. So we'll see how long we can continue this stream, but we'll see. But anyways, we'll continue the stream as much as we can. It doesn't work. Let me know if the sound is coming. Sound should be coming. I think it should be coming. We'll see how long I stream for. I should be okay for a while now. I washed my face again, so let's see. Stuff burns. Yeah, I'm like, I thought I washed my hands with like soap and everything, and clearly the chili's after effects last longer. I was by Fulham at Craven Cottage quite recently and won fairly easily 2-0. Yes, I do remember that. Sound is perfect. Nice, good. All right, so Tigers team. Let me know if you guys want me to bring your teams up as well. We'll have a look. So Chris Wood, Joe Pedro, and Isak. Actually, Tiger, you have no problems for forwards this week at least. You can probably play. You can start Isak over Jacob Murphy. Probably Isak over. Ooh, what would you guys do with Joe Pedro? Chile? Yes, Chile indeed. What would you guys do with Joe Pedro? Now, for those of you who have Joe Pedro, if you are expecting Joe Pedro to play against Fulham, I'll start him. I don't know if I'll spend a transfer now itself to get rid of him. I might wait one more week. I'll probably get rid of him in Gameweek 29 if anything. I would start Isak though, probably over Jacob Murphy. Or would you start him over Joe Pedro? Feel free to bring my team up. I'm number 8 in the league. Alright, let's bring your team up as well. So I'll probably start Isak. Kirkis, I would also potentially. Kirkis, would I start? Spurs. Kirkis have lost. Not Kirkis. Bournemouth have. I'm not mistaken. Who was the name that was on my head? Oh yeah, Christie. He is potentially out for the Spurs game, right? That will have an impact on Bournemouth's performance as well, I believe. So kind of want to make keep an eye out for that. So Kirkis, I mean, who is Van Heck playing? Yeah, Fulham. I still probably will start Kirkis. So I'd start Kirkis Tiger over Van Heck and Isak at this moment over Jacob Murphy. Because Joe Pedro is playing Fulham and Combe, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Sasa Lukic out? Yes, he's suspended until the 1st of April. So Sasa Lukic is also a very key player for Fulham. So I would actually potentially keep Joe Pedro on the off chance that he can feature or starts for Brighton against Fulham. So that's probably what I would do. Bench Murphy, start Isak, start Kirkis over Van Heck. Have you spoken about Gameweek 29 plans? Not yet. We are about to do that as well. We haven't touched that yet. So that's for Tigers team. And Sasa Lukic 2 Gameweek ban. Yeah, that's the thing. So that doesn't help Gameweek 29 as well, to be honest. Oh, is it 2 Gameweek ban or? Yeah, it's a 2 Gameweek ban. Damn it. Yeah, so obviously wait and see on that as well. Doesn't help Gameweek 29 because against Spurs, but I don't think I was expecting Robinson to keep a clean sheet against Spurs anyways. Then Tiger for the misses. She probably needs to sell Ahmad and Cunha. At this moment, I would start Ena over. Ena over Lewis Hall, and maybe can move Ahmad to, depending on the budget, 1 million plus another 0.5, 1.5 million to Jared Bowen. Oh no, there's no money to go to Jared Bowen. Go Neto? Maybe a Neto? I think a Neto should be possible from Chelsea. That's probably what I would do. So Isak bring in? Yes. I'll bring Isak in. Would sell Cunha as well. Not sure who to sell Cunha to just yet. The options, apart from Chris Wood as well, like the options for this week, gave me 28. If you want to go and buy a forward, Wissa maybe. I think Wissa against Aston Villa could potentially benefit. The other options are obviously Marmoush, Haaland. That is out now. Yeah, you're probably looking at Wissa maybe. Marshall Mutesi for Ahmad. 5 million midfielder playing upfront for Wolves if you want a differential. True. Now that Cunha is out. Probably him, right? Oh, but Strand Larson is back as well, right, Nick? Won't Strand Larson play that number 9? Unless you're saying number 10. Let me bring SofaScore up. This is where SofaScore comes into play. Wolves. Which game are we looking at? Are we looking at Fulham game? Or... Ah, yeah, here we go. He started up front. Okay, never mind. Can he play number 10 if Strand Larson is going to play that spot? That's kind of what I'm wondering. Strand Larson played in the cup. One to keep an eye out for. If he starts up front for this week, then game week 29, he might be a player to go try and get. Sarabia, maybe. So yeah, anyone looking for Fulham midfielders, maybe? Not Fulham midfielders, Wolves midfielders. Keep an eye out on who starts. I'm honestly not sure, but the fact that he's been given 2 90 minutes in a row is promising. That's true, that is true. We kind of had to wait, but then Strand Larson, I think wasn't available before that, so probably available. So we'll have to wait and see who starts this week. I probably wouldn't move for Wolves player this week. I'd wait and see who they play against, because Everton isn't going to be the easiest of fixtures. I guess we should also now add Beto as an option, given that we're scraping the barrel for potential forwards that we'd want. So yeah, that's for the misses, Tiger. Now, Nick's team. Obviously 53 points. Flecken, Robinson, Munoz, Ena, Palmer, Bowen, Salah, Cap, Embuemo, Kluivert. Wonder-goal Kluivert. Chris Wood, Cunha, Isak, Timber, and Hall, with Sells on the bench as well. So I'm assuming Flecken still stays in goal because Sells is playing. Ooh, would you put Flecken in goal? No, really not. Probably Sells in goal. Sells or Flecken? Maybe take a punt on Flecken? I don't know. Tough one. What do you think, Nick? Who are you putting in goal? Robinson and Munoz, you said we were going to start. I'd probably start Timber over Ena, to be honest. And then the midfield will stay the same. Chris Wood up front alongside Isak. You don't really need to make a transfer this week. Be honest. Or you could sell Hall for Ant Nouri, maybe. But Ant Nouri doesn't have the best fixture against Everton this week. But next week he has got Southampton, so that's really good for him. I go Sells, I think. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. That's Nick's team as well, for anyone who's looking. Forwards. Now I wanted to have a look at like the forwards. Obviously we're struggling to try and find. Would I transfer Cunha out just as cover in case Isak gets rested? That's true. You could do that. Now forward, the question is who do you go to? Obviously Mateta is now a doubt as well. So he's out. So we got Beto, Visa, Chris Wood, Haaland. Joe Pedro is a minutes risk. Delap, I wouldn't. Raul Jimenez, I wouldn't. Isak is obviously here. Mamush. And then the rest are like, yeah, you're probably not going to any of the rest. Welbeck just come back from injury, but I think him and Joe Pedro I just wouldn't risk Brighton. Given also like Brighton's fixtures being Fulham, City, Aston Villa, it's not the best for Brighton as well, so I wouldn't look there. So, who would you guys want to go for a forward? I think at this moment, Beto, Visa, and Chris Wood probably alongside Marmoush and Haaland might be the play. Now, a lot of people would be looking to try and get Haaland on a free hit. I think a lot of managers would look at Haaland on a free hit. For those of us who aren't free hitting, I've seen a few managers consider the idea of selling Cole Palmer and using that money to get Haaland in. Those ideas floating about as well. Obviously, it depends on your team structure as well. For example, for me, for Gameweek 29, 28, right? This is how my team. Now, let's say I didn't do a transfer, for example. 29, I would end up in a situation where Trent will have to be sold. Let's say for Ain't Nuri. I'll have 2.9 in the bank. Obviously, Cunha and I are massive issues. So let's say Cunha goes to, I don't know, Chris Wood, because got a really good fixture that week. Then I need to sell Endai for a hit. Now people are also, I can't do it because I don't have the transfers. But anyone who has like 4 transfers, 5 free transfers, if you wanted to really sell Haaland, you could. I mean, if you want to get Haaland in, you could for a Palmer. Me, the best I can go is 8 million for a forward. And for me, it might actually be a Mamouche for that price at this moment. I might go better simply because it gives me an extra 2 million to dump back into my team. You could do that as well. If I went Beto for 10.2, not enough. Yeah, I could, instead of Beto, I could just go Marmoush for me personally. But this probably would be what I would end up in for Gameweek 29 with a -4, which I don't think is too bad. I could also take Visa, but Visa obviously against Bournemouth. Slightly prefer to punt on Marmoush essentially, unless there's another forward I would like to try and get. But there aren't any. I'm not going to a Man United forward. I just can't trust any of them. So that is not an option as well. So this is kind of where I'm looking at with a -4. And that goes into game week 30. I wouldn't wildcard in 30. Personally, I'm thinking to wildcard game week 31. Just so we have more information on what the doubles will look like. For those of you with the assistant manager chip, you could be in a situation where if you play assistant manager in game 31, 32, and 33, you could be looking to wildcard in 30 in that situation. You could also look at playing the assistant manager chip potentially in game week 30 as well. 30, 31, 32, but you won't get any doubles apart from the Palace one. You could go Glasner against Southampton in Palace. Play it against Brighton. I think Brighton obviously won't be a table bonus game, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh, actually, you never know. Glasner, Brighton could become, if depending on how Brighton do, could become a table bonus game, depending on what Brighton and Palace do. And then 32, you get the double from Glasner. 33, you could, if you still have the bench boost as well, you could. This is where the whole wildcard 29 discussion has come into play as well. For those of people who have assistant manager, bench boost, and free hit. where people have thought, oh, wildcard 29, you could also assistant manager 30, 31, 32, bench boost 33, free hit 34. That is a possibility as well. And then 35, 36, 37, 38, you kind of have to navigate. The only thing with that wildcard 29 idea is you won't know the how game week 33 will look like if you're trying to bench boost in 33. You clearly won't have any idea of what the bench boost will look like in 33. The other option is you could wildcard 29, bench boost game week 30, assistant manager 31, 32, 33, and then free hit in 34. That's also obviously another possible scenario for anyone who's looking to play it that way as well. I looked at Trent to Anthony to help me get Haaland. It also involves transferring Palmer and Wood or Visa out. Not that keen though. Yeah, that's the thing. So it involves trying to get like Palmer out as well, right? And for that, you need to have like enough and like you need to have at least 3 to 4 transfers available. Showed up. Me, I have zero free. I have only one free transfer. So I can't really do it because it's just going to take a -8 and then I'm like, yeah, not for me. For me at this moment, I think this is how I might end up. Unless obviously another injury happens and we're like, can't do anything about it after that point. So I just need to decide whether I move this either Chris Wood or Marmoush move 1 week. So I just need to decide whether I want to bring in either Chris Wood or Marmoush week, or do I just roll with a back four? Don't really want to be doing. So that's kind of where I'm still deciding what to do. Fortunately, there are no other forwards that I want. In terms of attacking data, Palace up there, Brighton up there, but picking a forward, a bit complicated. I mean, it could go Visa, maybe. Just keep it simple and go Visa instead of punting on Marmoush, because Marmoush's minutes are not going to be 90 minutes. Visa, on the other hand, could get 90. Liverpool, blanks, Bulls. Oop. I don't know. Will it be Stan Larsen against Southampton? Game 29. Spurs, probably not looking there. I mean, they play. Who do they play? 29. They play Fulham, not the easiest of fixtures, and they play Bournemouth this week as well. So, not interested. And then you have Forest, obviously, with Chris Wood. Everton with Beto, but not the easiest of fixtures. And then Fulham and City. Cunha suspension hurts. Yes. It's caused too many problems. I might have been more tempted about the whole Haaland thing if Cunha was available. Because I could have gone Game Week 28. Like if Cunha was available, for example, I could have then entertained the idea of taking a hit for a Haaland in potentially. But even that, I'm like, yeah, where did this Ent Nuri? And then I got rid of 4.5. Yeah, can't find a replacement at 4.5 for midfield for Palmer. So yeah, I still probably wouldn't have done Haaland. Never mind, ignore me. Chaza, how are you doing? Chatbox says, Chaza, how are you doing? Obviously, we're going to have Chaza on the podcast for this week. So stay tuned for that on the Wednesday. I need to confirm the time with Chaza very soon. I will do that. Chaza, I'll send you a message maybe tomorrow morning or something on the time for that exactly. I think it's 9:30 p.m. Sydney time, most likely. But I just need to confirm with my other co-host. So yeah, Game Week 29 plans. I think we kind of have to wait and see. Cunha has probably got to move. I just don't know which forward I'm looking to try and get in for, and whether I do it this week or next week. I might wait for European games to go as well and see how it goes. I'm not against getting Chris Wood in back for this week because regardless of whether it's City or not, it's still Forest at home, and Forest at home are generally a decent team, and City defensively haven't looked the best as well. So I don't mind going and getting Chris Wood in this week if it needs to be done. Otherwise, it's Villa against Aston Villa. I mean, Visa against Aston Villa and Visa against Bournemouth 29. Game week 30, it's just Brentford's fixtures are just not the best, to be honest. Whereas I'd rather have Chris Wood instead at this moment. Sell Palmer? I can't sell Palmer. I just don't have the free transfers to do it. Also, I don't. Who am I going to sell Palmer to? Bruno Fernandes? Either Bruno Fernandes or like a Neto or something, right? Don't really trust Bruno, even though he's returned 2 double-digit 10 pointers for the likes of Freddie and I think Combe. Do you have Bruno Fernandes? But yeah, I think Cunha goes probably Visa or Marmoush. Marmoush is who I'm looking at. Visa, fixtures are the ones that I don't like the most from Visa. I think my team in 29 would end up. I was just showing it to these guys here. My team in 29 would end up something like follows. Marmoush and Chris Wood. This gives me. I have 0.8 in the bank as well, so I don't have to worry too much about price changes or anything. Fernandes is the same as Palmer. At this moment, Bruno is doing better than Palmer. It's just that I can't. It's just that like it's another -4, and I can't. I still wouldn't be able to get to a Haaland. Like I couldn't even do Haaland and then like what 4.2 million. I can't find a midfielder for that price. Just not worth it unless I don't get Chris. I get like a Beto instead. Me, I don't feel that's worth it. Captaincy though, captaincy is going to be a bit of a problem. It might have to be on Chris Wood. Imagine captaining Chris Wood. Where I might. I have Neto. I couldn't bring myself to get that rat. Fair enough. Akshat says Beto, Welbeck, Pedro, Stan Larsen. Who would you pick instead of Cunha considering Wood and Isak? Stan Larsen would be the tempting one because Stan Larsen has the better fixtures. The only thing, like Nick mentioned, is that we need to see whether it's Stan Larsen starting or whether it is Munetsi, Marshall, whether it's Marshall starting. So we kind of have to see who is starting up front for Wolves, and that's the one thing we don't know at this moment. It could be Stan Larsen. It could be this guy as well. So kind of have to wait and see. Which is why I think if you can wait one more week before making that move, I don't mind it. Just so we get that information. But without that information, Akshat, right now I think it will be better based off form. Beto might be the play based off form. Because he also has West Ham in 29 and it's Everton at home. Not a bad fixture to be honest for Beto. The thing with City is they have like the thing with Brighton is they have City in 29 and this week they've got Fulham. Fulham might be slightly more because no Sasa Lukic, so Brighton should have the advantage because of that, but yeah, still. I would favor Welbeck over Pedro slightly in that situation because don't know how long Pedro continues to play, and I do think that Welbeck is more like Welbeck helps Brighton play better. Larsen, Beto are both a good differential. Need a strike anyways. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, now before we look to slowly wrap it up, I kind of want to know where people are in terms of chip plans right now. Obviously, I still think it's slightly too early to kind of decide what the whole landscape of chips are going to be like game week 30 onwards until we see the FA Cup results from 29. Like, until we see who beats who in this draw. A bit still, I feel like it's a bit too early to tell exactly what we want to do with the chips because would anyone be surprised if Bournemouth beat City? Probably not. Would anyone be surprised if I mean the like Bournemouth all three of the Premier League games anyone can beat anyone, to be honest. This is probably the best time for a team that has, except for City, every other team, this is the best chance to win a trophy. This is honestly the best chance they're going to get to win a trophy for every other team apart from City. And there's a chance that Bournemouth could also beat City. So, yeah, I mean, kind of have to wait and see what happens. Until then, it's very hard for even me to tell what exactly the chip plans are going to be. Got no idea with the chips. Yeah, the thing is because I could play triple captaincy in 32 on Isak, but did he do go all the way? Haaland in 36 is also as tempting. I do believe yesterday's results makes the idea of using how AM 31 to 33 is redundant, as in like using Eddie Howe. Yeah, I know that doesn't happen now because Eddie Howe obviously doesn't get the double. That's not going to happen. However, you could go Glasner. That could still be double. Brighton in 31, double in 32, potential double in 33. Could also go, we were discussing this as of a wildcard 29, assistant manager 30 to 30, 31, 32, bench boosting 33, free hit in 34. The problem with that is obviously you won't know what your bench, like when you wildcard, you will have no idea what the bench boost is going to look like because you won't know the doubles or the information about the doubles. The other option is obviously wildcard 29, bench boosting 30, assistant manager 31, 32, 33, and free hit 34 as well. But I still think 31 is a good wildcard window instead. Thinking about wildcard 31, triple captain 32 on Isak, assistant manager used, bench boost 33, free hit 34. That is probably where I'm at. Triple captain Haaland maybe 36, but not sure. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the only thing I'm like Haaland or Isak. Kind of where I'm slightly uncertain. Combe is looking at wildcard in either 31 or 32, bench boost in 33, and free hit in either 34 or 36. Nice. Tiger's looking at a bench boost in 34. Bench boost in 34. Ooh, keep in mind, Tiger, some blanks available in 34 as well. I have zero money in the bank. Might go full season without even using a AM chip. Oh, nah, I would use the AM chip. I think it's worth it. I got like 56 points from the system manager chip, Akshat. And the highest I used was like a 0.8 million on a manager. You can even free up 0.8 million. I think the scope is there. 56 points more. That's a lot of money. I don't think you will find any player in the game for under 1 million that can get you that amount of points in 3 weeks. Obviously, you could get very unlucky, like people who went Arteta in like game week 26 got 0. But I think with this chip, if you can play like some high risk stuff at times, then you should be pretty decent. Are you a fan of the assistant manager chip? I didn't mind it actually. I thought it was okay. The assistant manager chip. Now, obviously, I was someone. Again, it depends on your playstyle. To be honest, I still think there are improvements that can be made on the chip. For example, the one thing I wasn't a fan of was it costing a transfer to switch managers. I didn't really like that too much. I think the chip is meant to be played with some chasing of upside, which not everyone did. And I can understand why people went safe for all 3 weeks. But it also rewards people who went for a risky punt and it paid off. Like Glasner 20-pointer, David Moyes 22-pointer. So I actually didn't mind it, to be honest. I thought it was pretty decent. I think it can be slightly improved on. Where obviously, for me personally, I think if it doesn't cost a transfer, I don't mind it then. But then that would also probably encourage people to switch managers and target the table bonus if it doesn't cost a transfer. Versus where people were kind of didn't want to switch managers because of their it costing a transfer. So I guess making it cost a transfer also makes like people have to make a decision as well. Wildcard in 30, Asman 3103, free hit 34. That's my chips done. Ooh, okay. Wildcard in 30. Be careful though with 30 wildcard. But yeah, I think that's probably another wildcard window as well. I think they should have tried it early in the season. Yeah, that could have also been true. Yeah, I think they could have introduced it early in the season. The question is now, next season, are they going to keep the chip? Are they going to start it from the start of the season? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I kind of feel that Robinson is a bit of a fraud because of his price. As in, like, not great or overhyped. What do you think, Akshat? I think Robinson has gone to this price because of he's had decent moments. Robinson. So, as someone who's owned him as well, I don't mind him. The fixtures are not going to keep a clean sheet in any of these fixtures, especially with Sasa Lukic now out for 2 game weeks as well. Brighton Spurs become a bit more harder. You're probably wildcarding Robinson out as well, most likely. Um, unless for some reason Fulham happen to get a double game week. But it's very likely that you're wildcarding Robinson out. With like anyone wildcarding game week 30, yeah, wildcarding Robinson out most likely. So yeah, okay. I guess we kind of had to wait and see. Um, in terms of Forest versus Ipswich, what happens in the FA Cup over there? Um, Forest most likely should be the team that wins that game, and then obviously I will make chip decisions after we see what happens in this draw, like the results of this draw. Overhyped, overhyped. Ooh, overhyped as in like a FPL player, or overhyped as a general football player? I think a general football player, he's a pretty good player. FPL, maybe you're not. Yeah, like he's not a Trent level player who will deliver you double digit. Um, that might be true. He's not going to deliver you double digits, but he's a decent enough player. The thing is, he when most of us bought him, he was 4.5 million. At 4.5 million, I think a lot of us felt it was kind of pretty good player to buy. Now he's like what 5.1 million. You're like, ooh, price does change when you look to like how you assess it there. Uh, but most of us, including myself, I think I bought him at like um, I bought him at 4.5 million. So me, I'm like, I'm not looking to like it's still like 4.9 million for me. 4.9 million attacking fullback. I don't mind owning. It's either like him or like Kirkes, for example. Now, if I go to buy Kirkes, 5 million, a bad punt as well, to be honest, to buy Kirkes. Um, Colm says if I was buying a Fulham defender, it would probably be Passy. Yeah, true. Because now he's a 4. You're looking for like a 4.5, right? Passy could be the one. Um, but that I guess that because based on how we assess Fulham's defense as well, and we kind of go at 5 million, it changes our viewpoint on what we want from a defender. Like I'd probably pick Munoz over Robinson because I know Munoz is capable of these kind of points. But now I can't pick Munoz as well because he blanked in 29. A&M, how are you doing? Would rather swap Robinson for Kanate. Only 2.2 million difference. True. That's true. Would you? Yeah. You probably get a bit more consistent clean sheets. Um, but then that's where people are like, oh, I'd rather have like Bento, Van Dyke for assured minutes. But if I was swapping, I would swap to like a. Unfortunately, if Palace didn't have the blank, Munoz will be on everyone's highly sought after transfers. A&M, how are you doing? Welcome. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I wanted to discuss. A&M, do you have any questions before we look to slowly end it? Forwards, we'll see what happens in the FA Cup results between Forest and Forest and Ipswich, and then I'll probably make like a players to buy and sell video for this week as well. We'll look at forwards. We'll look at a few midfielders as well. Do we need to look at defenders? I guess maybe defenders are also probably. So we'll look at all three positions: defenders, forwards, and midfielders. I hope no one really needs a goalkeeper. I think a lot of people potentially have goalkeepers for this week, and also for 29. And then obviously we'll have the podcast on Wednesday, where I'll be joined by Chaza, who's in the chat, and potentially Roy, who is also an Arsenal fan. So I'm having two Arsenal fans on the podcast. So we'll have a look and we'll discuss that in terms of fixture planning on the Wednesday. Yeah, shout out to Akshat, Tiger, A&M, Joseph, Kom, Varun, Chaza, who else? Nick, Plowboy, Tin, Divyam, Tendai, and anyone else who's watching as well. No questions, just here to say I am long-time lurker and love your channel. Keep the great work, great man. Thank you very much. Shout out to A&M as well. I've got Pickford and Webbruggen. Yeah, so you also don't have any worries for goalkeeper as well. And shout out to each and every one of the lurkers as well, who are just sitting and listening. Thank you. Obviously, I really appreciate it as well. I have Sells and Henderson. Yeah, so see, people have goalkeepers. So I guess none of you guys have any issues for goalkeepers. So I don't need to think about goalkeepers. I'll have a look at defenders, midfielders, and forwards in the video, or like replacements that you can look and buy. And hopefully these replacements don't go and get themselves sent off. Ideally, that would be very nice, you know. Kunya, I'm looking at you. I've had you on the. This is the third week running, I think, that I've had Kunya on the thumbnail of a team selection video. First two times it was telling you to buy him, and now I'm looking at telling you to sell him. I'm just gonna check. This is the third week running of like Kunya on the thumbnail. One had him in 27 on the thumbnail, 26 on the thumbnail as well. And 28 is on the thumbnail with a red card. Matthias Kunya. Alright, it is what it is. Shout out to everyone. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. And I will see you all for a podcast stream on the Wednesday. And I'll have a video out potentially tomorrow for players to look to buy as well. Until then, have a good one. Make sure to, if you guys can, leave a comment once the video is done to help the YouTube algorithms. And shout out to each and every one of you who do leave. Obviously, Combe, Joseph, Tiger, leaving comments as well after the video is done. And for anyone else as well who does it, thank you very much. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, everyone. Thank you.